the National Museum of American History, that's a part of the Smithsonian, announced the story of Donald Trump's 2 impeachment trials have been pulled from an exhibit on presidential impeachments. The placard telling visitors that Donald Trump was impeached in 2019 and then again in 2021 was removed last month after what they mysteriously called a content review. But then yesterday, the Smithsonian announced they would return the placard. See, this is more government waste. First, they remove the placard, then they put it back. All Trump was trying to do by ordering them to remove the placard was make Washington, D.C. work more efficiently because the math is so simple. Look, there have only been 4 presidential impeachments. Half of them are Donald Trump's, which means you pull his name from that exhibit, you're cutting 50% in costs. It's just good business sense. More importantly, why do visitors to the Smithsonian need reminding that their current president was impeached twice, indeed persecuted on purely political grounds? Once for innocently holding up a shipment of arms to Ukraine in exchange for dirt on Joe Biden, and then again for performing an official act as president by attempting to overthrow the government of the United States. Those 2 impeachments have no place inside the Smithsonian. Just focus on Clinton's impeachment for lying about sex with Monica Lewinsky. There's the story that must be told because, see, I'm old enough to remember just how shaky our republic was over Clinton's deception. A lot of us back then grew wobbly, wondering if we were even going to have a country anymore. As Senator Lindsey Graham, who was a congressman back there, he was one of the Republican impeachment managers, as he tearfully asked back then, are we or are we not a nation of laws? The Bureau of Labor Statistics issued a new report showing the pace of hiring in July slowed with only 73,000 non-farm jobs created, roughly 25,000 fewer than expected. So, obviously, Donald Trump had no other choice but to fire Erica McIntyre, who issued that hatchet job on our president. I'm surprised she hasn't been arrested. This is treasonous. But the good news is, because she now has to be replaced, Donald Trump can take credit for helping to increase the number of new hires for August. See, he's a man of action. Other presidents, well, they worried the number for new hires isn't accelerating fast enough, and then they did nothing. They just sat there with their thumbs up their bottoms. Not Donald Trump. He gets America back to work by creating jobs that must be filled, like commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's an opening he just manufactured because he's a job creator. In firing Eric McIntyre as our nation's commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, President Trump called her July jobs data, quote unquote, rigged. Well, of course those numbers were rigged. Anything that makes Trump's tariff policy look like it's slowing the economy, it's rigged. This woman worked inside the federal government for 20 years. So obviously she's one of those swamp creatures rejiggering statistics to embarrass our dear leader, like saying the American consumer pays for tariffs, or Donald Trump's not really 6'5", or COVID didn't begin during the Biden administration. These people hate America. Despite Trump claiming she is a Democrat who can't be trusted, in January of this year, McIntyre was confirmed by a vote of 86-8 in the Senate. Wait, we have a revision on those numbers. The new numbers are in, and McIntyre was actually rejected by the Senate in January by a vote of 200-0. Wow, that's how unpopular she is. There are only 100 senators, but apparently they voted against her twice. Wait. We have newly revised numbers saying 4 million United States senators back in January voted against her confirmation. William Wiotrowski has been named the acting commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But you know who I think is the most qualified person for this job? This guy, Alan Weisselberg, former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization. I hear he's available after completing 2 tours of duty inside the Rikers Island Manhattan jail. 1 round of jail time after he pleaded guilty to helping the Trump Organization defraud the Internal Revenue Service. Apparently, the Trump Organization didn't pay taxes for 15 years, and Weisselberg did time for that, and rightfully so. How dare he embarrass mein Fuhrer? I bet Donald Trump turned Weisselberg in, because Trump is a patriotic American who always pays his taxes. And when he discovered his company didn't pay their fair share for 15 years, you know he hit the roof and said, I want you to find out who's responsible for my company not paying taxes for 15 years and have that person arrested. I don't care who it is. And it turned out to be Alan Weisselberg, who masterminded this tax fraud, obviously all by himself. He was a rogue participant. His other prison sentence was for lying under oath. So obviously Alan Weisselberg is the guy who should be compiling our nation's labor statistics, because he's like the Gordon Ramsay of cooking books. He's so good with numbers. In fact, when Donald Trump needed to refinance his company's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in outstanding debt, trying to get a favorable interest rate, Alan Weisselberg helped put together the financial statements proving Donald Trump was way wealthier than he actually was. Weisselberg tricked the banks into thinking Trump wasn't a risk, so they lent him money at very, very low interest rates. And if Alan Weisselberg can do that for Donald Trump, imagine what he can do for the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The entire country won't just be working, we'll all end up being upper class and not have to pay any taxes because the government can't tax non-existent income. Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, serving a 20-year sentence for human trafficking, has been moved out of a federal prison in Florida to a minimum security prison camp in Texas. This after her meeting with Todd Blanche, Trump's criminal attorney who moonlights as our nation's deputy attorney general. Her move defies Bureau of Prison norms for sex offenders like Maxwell, who are rarely, if ever, allowed to be housed inside a low-level security prison. And some are suggesting, and I don't know where they're getting this idea from, that Maxwell is receiving some sort of preferential treatment for cooperating, not necessarily with Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, but Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer. Well, as you know, CBS analyzed the surveillance videos outside Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell, and they found a mysterious orange blob. Nobody's able to say what or who that orange blob is. Well, I think I know. This is the last thing Jeffrey Epstein saw before hanging himself, dying mysteriously. This is the last thing he saw. Wait, I've got more. Here it is. Somebody's been playing with artificial intelligence. Here is Stephen Miller. Here is White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller on vacation in Honduras with his wife, begging her to sleep with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk won't take her. Look at this. He wanted to watch Elon Musk bang his wife, and Elon Musk wouldn't do it. Wait, I have more. Donald Trump literally said this about, this is Forrest Trump. Remember Forrest Gump? I've done this joke, the Forrest Gump joke, back during the first Trump administration. But Donald Trump said something about migrants, rounding up too many migrants, and how they're not enough migrants for farmers. He was on Squawk Box with CNBC. And so these are his actual words, but I decided to run them through my Forrest Gump artificial intelligence. This is Donald Trump praising the people, the migrants, the undocumented migrants who pick our crops.
But we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These people you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
There are no words. There's just no words. No words. What else do I have here? Oh, as you know, in my basement, I have lab-grown chicken. I make lab-grown chicken. These are actual cruelty-free lab-grown chicken that I'm making using stem cells. And here, this is video of me feeding them. Mouth-watering. What else? Oh, this is how my parents met. I found an old kinescope of my parents meeting on a game show called What's My STD? I don't know who the host was in the middle, and I don't know what the premise of the game was, but my parents met on a game show in the 60s called What's My STD? Wait, what else do I have? What is this? Oh, this is outside my sister's home. Hate has little to no place in this home. Hate has little to no place in this home. And finally, and then I'm going to stop. Am I done? Oh, I have one more. Chris Christie. This is Chris Christie, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, at a health spa this weekend in Arizona. Hey, it's August. I'm depressed, and I'm playing with this artificial intelligence crap is going to get us all killed. What else do I have? I think that's it. I can't show you the other. Oh, here. My brother's my brother. Hey, it's August, and I'm depressed. Okay, my brother is a dentist, and he can work with it. He has to wear Dr. Scholl's because his feet start to hurt. But he will work a 15-hour day, no lunch breaks. How does he do it? Watch. I'm David. I'm sorry. I'll get back to work tomorrow. I'm David Feldman, reminding you to stay strong and protect the weak. Please like this episode so I remain in your feed. Please share it. Please leave a comment. If I made any mistakes, like doing today's episode, let me know. If I made any mistakes, you can correct me. I read all your comments. Thank you so much for listening. One more time. The chickens. We're the chicken. We're the lab chickens. We're the lab homegrown chickens. Oh, here they are. All right. Bye.